everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Kavanaugh's Corner. Today on the show, I'm going to be talking about the 20th Marvel Studios release. I can't believe it's been 20 of them so far, but 20th release. It's called Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it stars Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and Michael Douglas, among others. And it is, God, man, this is a lot of fun. This movie was a blast. It's definitely one of those rare sequels that comes along every now and then that is actually better than the original. A lot of sequels can't live up to the original. I actually thought this was a better movie than the first film. Of course, the first film is more of an origin story than anything else, which is appropriate because Ant-Man really isn't the most well-known comic book character, but Paul Rudd was really good in that film, and he's even better in this one, and that really goes for the whole cast, honestly. Everybody's having a really good time in this film. You can tell they had a blast making it, and honestly, I really had a great time in this movie. The special effects are a standout in this. I thought the special effects in this film were absolutely mind-blowing. Really was just, in awe through most of the film. I also got a chance to see it in IMAX, and the IMAX scenes, especially the end of the film, there's a big long chunk of the end of the film that was all IMAX, and it was really a great spectacle to see, and I highly recommend, if you get a chance to see it, see this movie in the IMAX. With that all that out of the way, Ant-Man and the Wasp is the follow-up to the original Ant-Man film that came out a few years ago, and basically it finds Paul Rudd's character in house arrest after the events that took place in Captain America Civil War. And it was nice to see that, again, they're keeping that continuity really dead on with this film. And it's really nice to see, what happens to a character after they're caught in this universe. And it was neat. It was a neat story. Overall, I think the plot was kind of thin. The movie is really focused on Ant-Man, which is now Paul Rudd. Used to be Michael Douglas. I'll talk more about Michael Douglas in a minute. But it's really about rejoining Michael Douglas and Evangeline Lilly's characters and really kind of trying to find Michael Douglas's wife that went missing many years ago. And it's really an interesting story, but it really is just a purpose to keep them kind of running around, either running from the feds or running from a very strange antagonist that is able to kind of phase through walls and material. And she's a formidable foe, much more formidable than the bad guy from the first film, who was kind of a one-dimensional character. This one here, you really get an idea of what the antagonist's problem is, and you kind of almost feel for him. Again, this is another one of those villains from a Marvel film that you kind of understand why they're doing what they're doing. Of course, you may not agree with their methods, but you do get what's going on. The character is kind of nicknamed Ghost in this film, and it's an interesting character, and I think it was acted well. The actress that played the character, I think, did a very good job. She's very physical, and she's done other parts in the past where she's been very physical, but I really liked her character, and I liked the twists and turns that happen with her character. But mainly, it's kind of a thin plot. Honestly, I think the plot's the weakest part of the film, but it was interesting to see another antagonist in a Marvel film that you really kind of understood what their purpose was, and you got why they were doing what they were doing. Again, Marvel's kind of been on a roll. The last couple films they've put out, Black Panther, the last Avengers film, and now this one, they've really done a good job of keeping the antagonists interesting, and they've had some pretty good villains. This is another good one in my opinion. Paul Rudd, again, in this film is just hilarious. He is just absolutely hilarious. He has wonderful comic timing. He always has had great comic timing, but in this one, it's particularly good. I love his line delivery in this. He really gets to deliver some pretty funny lines, and I was laughing all the way through. And Evangeline Lilly, who it becomes the Wasp in this film, well, actually has been the Wasp for a little bit when this film starts, really is a great partner to him, and they play off of each other very well. They really do get a good, they have great chemistry together, and you can tell they had a good time filming it. However, the standout is Mike Douglas again. Michael Douglas is just, he's the man. And I gotta say, I have not seen a film of his in a long time where he gave a bad performance. He is on top of his game yet again in this film, and he's a great straight man in this one. He plays to his age yet again, and it works. His character, Hank Pym, is just, he's perfect in this. He just does a really good job. And, again, Michael Douglas has been in the business now for 50 years, I think. So, I mean, he's an all-time pro, and he's really great to watch in this, and I absolutely love him. Again, can't take it extremely seriously. It is kind of mostly a comedy in this. The bad guys are kind of more of an annoyance than anything else, honestly. They're really, they are kind of a threat to the main characters, but more often than not, they're just standing in the way of what the main characters, the heroes, are trying to accomplish. And it's kind of a weird thing because you have a movie that has villains, but they're not really villains. It's more of a moral kind of dilemma that they're in. And it's interesting to watch, but in the end, I was kind of, left kind of thinking, what the hell, is with these villains? But again, that's just my opinion. I really enjoyed the movie overall. I thought it was a good time. I laughed a lot. Stan Lee has a cameo in this. Again, not going to spoil it for you, but Stan Lee honestly has the funniest line in the movie. And I thought it was a funny movie, but me and my friend almost pissed our pants laughing with his line in this movie. It is so perfect. And I tell you, that guy's like a national treasure, man. I love that guy. And I really liked this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a better film than the original. And I would definitely see it again if I had a chance. I would actually go to the theater and see it a second time because I had such a good time. I liked it. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I really, really liked this movie. Again, I thought the acting was great. The special effects were awesome. The direction was actually pretty solid. It didn't feel like a glorified TV movie like the first one did. This really felt like a very well-constructed, well-directed movie. And I liked it, man. I really liked it. I had a blast, and I think you will too. Go see Ant-Man and the Wasp if you have the opportunity. It was a great time. Until next time, I'm Andrew Cavanaugh. Thank you for coming back to Cavanaugh's Corner. If you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel. The channel has been growing. But anyway, thank you again for all your support, and we'll see you next time. Good night.